Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first topic in your course, Linear Algebra, Linear System. Consider a linear system of m equations in n unknowns, like here mentioned, a1, 1x1, a1, 2x2, plus so on up to a1 and xn is equal to b1. Second equation, a2, 1x1, a2, 2x2, plus so on up to a2 and xn is equal to b2. Up to a m1 x1 a plus a m2 x2 plus so on plus a mn xn is equal to bm. Here you see m equal to number of linear equations and small n equal to number of unknowns in a variable. Here we have three possibilities. One possibility is m equal to n. Second one is m less than n. And third one is m greater than n. That is when number of equations equal to number of unknowns, then what will be the solution? If number of equation less than number of unknown, then the nature of the solution we need to discuss. And when the number of equations greater than number of unknown, what will be happened? Sometimes we need to construct a linear system from a given data or problem, and sometimes a linear system is given whose solution we need to find or discuss. Like here, not always the solution exists. By this tree diagram, if the solution of the system is this one, then to see the nature of the solution, sometimes this solution does not exist. But at this level, we need to discuss the reason why the solution does not exist. What is wrong to the system due to which it does not give you the solution? Solution exists. So if solution exists, whether this is unique solution means unique solution means that there is only one common point in all the graphs of the equations of the equations of the system. The second case is the case of infinitely many solutions. Sometimes the solution is the case of infinitely many solutions like here, but we need to discuss this case whether this is one-dimensional solution, two-dimensional solution, or more than two-dimensional solution. And already in the first introductory class, we discussed about dimension. A dimension is the number of parameters on which a thing depends. We will see whether the entire solution depends on how many parameters, and the number of these parameters will be considered as the dimension of the solution. We consider here small examples from your daily life, like this is example 1 on page 2 in the book. Here, $1 lakh is going to be invested in two ways. In one way, certificate deposit, the other way in long-term bonds. The certificate deposit is labeled by CD and the long-term bond is labeled by LB. But after 1 year of this amount, 5% of this amount and 9% of this amount gives you the interest is $7,800. The question is, these are information, total 1 lakh is to be invested in two ways, and this way the amount invested gives you, and on this way the amount invested gives you 5% and 9% at the year of the end. At the end of the year is $7,800. The question is how much is invested in CD and how much is invested in long-term bond. Like here $1 lakh is to be invested in two ways. One is by certificate deposit and the other is by long-term bond. 5% of the amount in CD and 9% of the amount in long-term bond yield after 1 year $7,800 is interest. Question is how much invested in CD and how much is invested in long-term bond. So this is actually the question. You need to construct a linear system for this question and then solve that linear system for the desired amount into these two ways. So here, let X and Y be the amount to be invested in CD and LB respectively. Then X plus Y is equal to 1 lakh because the total amount is this one. X is invested in CD, Y amount is invested in long-term bond, but their sum will be the actual amount 1 lakh. Now 5% of this amount X plus 9% of this amount Y is equal to 7,800. These are information given to you. We just suppose X and Y is labeled for amount to be invested in two ways as we are discussing the algebra. So this one implies X plus Y is equal to 1 lakh and 5% of X becomes 0.05X, 9% of Y is 0.09, Y is equal to 7,800. These are two equations and this is the case when M is equal to N, as M is 2 and N is 2. Number of equation 2, number of unknown X, Y 2. Now, the first method here, which is the simplest one, is the elimination method. You need to equate the coefficient in two equations of one variable like here. If you multiply equation 1 by 0.05 minus equation 2 implies that minus 0.04y equal to minus 2,800 by this action. And this gives you y is equal to 70,000. You divide both sides by minus 0.04. One implies equation 1 implies x equal to transfer 70,000 here, the result will be 30,000. Thus, x is equal to $30,000 and y is equal to $70,000 is the desired solution, which is unique solution because only one point is common in the graphs of these two lines are only one value for x, one value for y, means only one point in the set, so is said to be a unique solution. Because by solution we mean the set of common points in all the graphs of the linear equations in the system. So this is the way how to construct a linear system and then how to solve the linear system. In this example, we are here. You see, solution exists and the case is a unique solution. So we are here and here we are here. M is equal to n case we considered here in example 1. Similarly, if you consider this example 2, you see this is example 2 on page 3. Consider the linear system x minus 3y is minus 7, 2x minus 6y is 7. Again, we have two equations and two unknown x and y, so m is equal to n case 2 is equal to 2. 2 into equation 1 minus equation 2 to get the coefficients of x in both the equation equal. We act like this one. That is 2x minus 6y minus 14, and this is 2x minus 6y is equal to 7. By subtraction, left hand side is cancelled, which gives you 0, but right hand side is minus 21, which is invalid case. You see 0 equal to minus 21 is invalid case. Solution does not exist due to this invalidity. Now, why this solution does not exist? What is the reason behind it? What is wrong to the system due to which it gives no solution? So the first reason is A0 can never be equal to minus 21. This is the first reason, and this is very simple mathematical reason. The second reason is the left hand side of equation 2 is twice the left hand side of equation 1. You see here, this is left hand side of equation 2 and this is left hand side of equation 1. So this is twice of this one, but the right hand side of equation 2 is not twice the right hand side of equation 1. And we are discussing equation. So the relation between, if the left hand side exists, then there should be between the right hand side, but this is not that case. So why the solution does not exist? This is the second reason. The third reason, which is very important geometrical reason, both the equations represent two parallel lines lying at some distance from one another. That is, they never intersect each other. Having no common points means no solution exists. As by solution, we mean the set of common points in the graphs of all equations. So this is the third reason due to which the system has no solution. And you see here, this is y-intercept form of the equation of line. Y is equal to m1x plus c1. This is one line. Y is equal to m2x plus c2. This is another line. Case 1, if m1 is equal to m2, here m1 is the slope of this line and c1 is y-intercept of this line. That is, the line intersect at c, yx is at c1. And m2 is the slope of this line, c2 is the y-intercept. If m1 is equal to m2, but c1 is not equal to c2, then lines are parallel, but at some distance, hence the case of no solution. These are parallel lines, but they lie at some distance from one another. That is, they never intersect each other, so no solution. Case 2 is this one, in form of P. If M1 is equal to M2 and C1 is equal to C2, that is, when two lines having the same slope as well as their y-intercepts the same, then lines are parallel but lie on each other, having many common points. This is the case of coincident lines, that is, they lie on each other, so many common points there, and the solution exists, which is the case of infinitely many solution. It means that for parallel lines, sometimes solution exists and sometimes does not exist. If solution exists, then that solution will be the case of infinitely many solutions. So in this example 2, we are here. You see, solution exists, but the case of infinitely many solution does not exist. We are here in example 2. Solution does not exist. Why? We give 3 reasons for that example 2 where the solution does not exist. This is example 3. X plus 2y plus 3z is 6. 2x minus 3y plus 2z is 14. 3x plus y minus z is equal to minus 2. Again, we have 3 equations and 3 unknowns. So the case of m is equal to n. Eliminate x from these two equation 1 and 2. So multiply equation 1, 2 with 2 and subtract equation 2 from that. So 2x minus 2x cancel. 2 to 4, y minus minus plus 3y is equal to 7y. 2, 3, 6 minus 2 is equal to 4z. 2, 6, 12 minus 14 is minus 2. Similarly, we are going to eliminate x from 1 and 3. So multiply this equation by 3 and subtract from this equation 3. We get like 5y plus 10z is equal to 20. 5 is common, so y plus z is equal to 4. The reduced system or refined system is the first equation, x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to 6. And the simplest of these two is this one, y plus z is equal to y plus 2z, sorry, this is 2z. I missed here 2. Here it is corrected. Y plus 2z is equal to 4. So, and the second equation, third equation, 7y plus 4z is equal to minus 2. So, these are three equations. If you eliminate y from 4 and 5, multiply 4 by 7 and subtract from that equation 5, you get, according to this section, 10z is 30, z is equal to 3. Further reduced system is the first equation, the second simplest equation, and the third z is equal to 3. Now, by back substitution, if you put 3 is equal to here for z, you will get the value of y is minus 2. And put the value of y minus 2, z3 here in equation 1, x is 1. Thus, x1, y minus 2, z3 is the unique solution here. See here, we discussed the case where m is equal to n. So, sometimes the solution exists, sometimes solution does not exist. If the solution exists, that solution is unique. And when the solution does not exist, then the reason we discussed above. It means that for m is equal to n, solution may or may not exist. And that solution may be the case of unique or the case of infinitely many also you can consider there. When the y-intercept are the same, then you can say that here the solution exists, but that solution is the case of infinitely many. Here we consider another example, example 4, in which the number of equations is less than the number of unknowns. Like we have here 2 equations, but 3 variables. So m is less than n, 2 is less than n, equation 1 and 2. Multiply equation 1 by 2 and subtract equation 2 like this one. You will get 2 weeks cancel, 2 to 4 minus y, 3, minus 2, 3, 6, minus is changed into plus, plus 3, which is minus 3z. Minus 4 or minus 2, 4, 8, minus 12. Dividing by 3, you will get y minus z is equal to minus 4. The reduced system here is the first equation, y plus 2, x plus 2y minus 3z is minus 4, and y minus z is equal to minus 4. Now, you see here, if you eliminate here y from these two equations, you will get a relation between x and z. If you eliminate z, you will get a relation between x and y. That is, further, if you act on these two equations, no answer you will get. It means that this is the simplest system. You cannot simplify this system further. The only option we have to get the solution, we need to express 2 of the variables in a common one. Like you see from equation 3, implies y is equal to transfer z here, z minus 4, and replace z by a parameter small r here, where z is equal to r and r belongs to the set of real number. Similarly, 1 implies x plus 2, y value in terms of r is r minus 4, minus 3, z is r, so is equal to minus 4. 2r minus 3r is minus r, transfer here become plus r, and minus 2, 4, 8, transfer here plus 8 minus 4 plus 8 is 4. Thus, x is r plus 4, y is equal to r minus 4, z is equal to r, where r belong to r is the desired solution, which is the case of infinitely many solutions. Why? Because this solution consists of small r, which is a parameter, and this small r belongs to R. How many values of small r here? Infinitely many, because for r is equal to 0, say, x is 4, y is minus 4, z is 0 is one solution. For r is equal to 1, say, x is 5, y is minus 3, z is 1, another solution. Similarly, by choosing different values of this small r, you will have different solution. But we have infinite values of this small r. Why we say that this is the case of infinitely many solutions? As the entire solution depends on only one parameter, which is r here. You see, this entire solution depends on one parameter, that is r. So this is called one-dimensional solution because the number of parameters here is 1. So this is called one-dimensional solution. Though the system is in three-dimensional, as there are three independent variable x, y, z, but its solution is one-dimensional solution because it depends on only one parameter, that is r. So we discuss here the case when number of equation less than number of unknown by example 4. If we consider here another case in which number of equations greater than number of unknown, because number of equation 3 and number of unknown 2, 1, 2, 3, but x, y are 2. So this is the case where number of equations greater than number of unknowns. Again, by elimination, if you eliminate x from 1 and 2, 2 into equation 1 minus equation 2 gives you 6y 24 equal to y is equal to 4 divided by 6. Similarly, eliminate x from 1 and 3. So multiply equation 1 by 3 and subtract equation 3. We get direct y is equal to 4. The reduced system here is x plus 2y is equal to 10 and y is equal to 4, y is equal to 4. As y has both the same values, hence solution exists. That is, 1 implies x plus 2 and y is equal to 4. 10, that is x is 2, y is 4 is the unique solution. So when the number of equations greater than number of unknowns, and by eliminating one of the variables and the second variable having to equal the same values, then that is the valid case, and in that case the system has a solution like y4, i4, the same value. But in this example 6 on page 5, you consider the same system, only a small amendment we made here. Instead of 26, we consider 20, the same system. 1, 2, 3, and again, m is greater than n. So you see, by eliminating x from 1 and 2, 2 into equation 1 minus equation 2 gives you y4. And eliminating x from equation 1 and 3, 3 into equation 1 minus equation 3 implies y is equal to 10. So y is equal to 4, y is equal to 10. Two different values in the reduced system is the first equation x plus 2y is 10, y is equal to 4, y is equal to 10. As y has two different values, hence solution does not exist. This is the case when m is greater than n, that is number of equations greater than number of unknowns, but here the solution does not exist. In example 5, the solution exists, but in example 6, the solution does not exist. The reason, from equation 1 and equation 3, you see 1 and 3, when you plug back y4 here, you will get the solution x2, y4, which satisfy equation 1 and equation 2. Yani, these values will satisfy equation 1 and 2, but do not satisfy equation 3. Hence, not considered to be the solution of the system. From equation 1 and equation 3, we have x is minus 10, y is 10, which do not satisfy equation 2. Though equation 1 and equation 3 are satisfied, hence not considered to be the solution. The solution means these points which satisfy all the equations in the system. But here, in this case, this solution does not satisfy equation 3. Equation 2. And in that solution, and this does not satisfy equation 3, and these values will not satisfy equation 2. So none of them is considered to be the solution of the entire system. Like you see, this is graphical view of that solution case. This is line L1, this is L2, L3. L1 and L2 has a common point. Also, L1 and L3 has a common point, but nothing is common among the graphs of all these three lines. So why the solution does not exist? Thus, in this case, when m is greater than n, then solution may or may not exist. So this is exercise 1.1, question 1 to question 14, similar to example 2, from example 2 to example 6. Only a difference of equations in the system exists there. Baki, the same way you need to use here for this equation, you will face the solution exists, does not exist, unique solution, infinitely many solution. And if the case is of infinitely many solution, you need to see the dimension of the solution there. So very easy questions you can solve by the help of these examples. Question 15. Given the linear system, 2x minus y is 5, 4x minus 2y is t. These are two given systems. Now, here some questions are asked. A part, determine a value of t so that the solution has the system has a solution. Determine a value of t so that the system has no solution. How many different values of t can be selected in part B? Here, if you see the nature of the solution of the question, the nature is not to find the solution of the system. Here, according to the statement, you need to give the answer. This system is given. Here, x and y are two unknowns variable, but t is a parameter, just like a variable, an unknown. You see, you will try to get that value of t for which this system is consistent. Means this system has a solution. Consistent system means a system having a solution. So find that value of t for which this system has a solution. So we have, this is just like example 2 where the solution did not exist. Now see, we have here, this side is twice of this side. You see by that example 2. So this side should be twice of this side. Means twice of 5 is 10. If t is equal to 10, then the solution will exist. So we see here by calculating, eliminate x from these two equations. So multiply this equation to 2. 2 into equation 1 minus equation 2 implies this is 4x minus 2y is equal to 10. This is 4x minus 2y is equal to t. By subtraction, these two will be cancelled. And this equal to 10 minus t. This is equation 3. Now, all these parts depend on this equation 3. If you get here satisfied form 0 is equal to 0, then you should put here t is equal to 10. That is, A part, determine a value of t so that the system has a solution. For t is equal to 10, if you put here t is equal to 10, 0 is equal to 0, which is a satisfied form. And that is the case where the system is consistent. So for t is equal to 10, the given linear system has a solution. We need not to find that solution. We need only the value of t for which the system becomes consistent. So for t is equal to 10, this system is consistent system. As for t is equal to 10, this is the reason clearance of that statement. 3 implies 0 is equal to 0, satisfied form. Similarly, determine a value of t so that the system has no solution. Here you need only one value of t, for which this system gives no solution, become inconsistent. So for t is equal to, yani choose that value of the value of t other than 10. So I choose here t is equal to 5. Here your answer is open. You may have different answer, but all the answer will be correct. You see, for t is equal to 5, 0 is equal to, the given linear system has no solution. Why? You see, as for t is equal to 5 here, this is 0 equal to 10 minus 5 implies 0 is equal to 5, which is invalid case, due to which the system is inconsistent, that is having no solution. So in part B, only one value you should mention here for t to give you the system is inconsistent. But in part C, the question is, how many different values of t can be selected in part B here? See, so all real numbers except t is equal to 10 can be selected in part B, because for t, other value than 10 means all the real number except t is equal to 10 will give you invalid case. So due to this, the solution does not exist. So the answer for C part is all real numbers except t is equal to 10 can be selected in part B. Now, in case of planes, the following three possibilities exist. That is one possibility here. This is plane 1, this is plane 2, and this is plane 3. Only one point is common among all the three planes, though P1, P2 have many common points. P2 and P3 have many common points, but the only common point among P1, P2, P3 is this one. And through this point, the side of P1, this passes, the side of P2, this passes, and the side of P3, this passes. So why this is the unique solution case? Because in all these three planes, only one point is common. Here the case where no common point exists is this. If you consider P1, this is P2, and this is P3. Although P1, P2 have many common points, P2, P3, P1, P3 have many common points, but nothing is common among all these three planes, P1, P2, P3. So this is the case of no solution exists here. You see here, these are three planes, P1, P2, P3. And many points are common. Infinitely many point solution exists here is this is P1, this is P2, this is P3. And this side is common among these three planes. Like if you keep a book and you stand a page, then one page, another page, and third page are three planes. The corner line at the end will be considered as the set of common points among all these three planes. Now see, this is the case where infinite solution exists here. This is exercise 1.1. You may see the questions like this is question 1 to question 14. You see, you do all these questions with the help of example 2 to example 6. Only equation difference exists. The way, the method to solve them, the same is used in example 2 to example 6. This is example question 15. Question 16, question 17, question 18, question 19, and question 20, 21, 22. All these questions are the same, easy. You include these questions in your notes. We start from some practical problems, that is the problems from the industry. How you will solve that problem in the industry? First, you need to construct the linear system for that, and then solve them. Like this is example 23. An oil refinery produces low sulfur and high sulfur fuel. Each ton of low sulfur fuel requires 5 minutes in the blending plant and 4 minutes in the refining plant. Each ton of high sulfur fuel requires 4 minutes in the blending plant and 2 minutes in the refining plant. If the blending plant is available for 3 hours and the refining plant is available for 2 hours, how many tons of each type of fuel should be manufactured so that the plants are fully utilized? Here, this is an industrial problem, and we use the concept of matrices here. As we are approaching towards the matrix, why matrix is made? What is the importance of the matrix? What are the application of the matrix? That is, in some way, matrix make the thing easy to understand. That is to tabulate all the informations from the problem. That table is said to be the matrix whose each entry indicates some information. So we approach towards the matrix concept. You see, an oil refinery produces. This is an industry in which 2 types of materials are going to be manufactured, are produced. One is low sulfur fuel, the other one is high sulfur fuel. But each ton of low sulfur fuels requires 5 minutes in the blending plant and 4 minutes in the refining plant. That is, each product is passing through 2 different plants. One is blending plant, the other one is refining plant. But each one of them requires sometimes in minutes in each of these plants. Each ton of high sulfur fuel requires 4 minutes in the blending and 2 minutes in the refining plant. If the blending plant is available for 3 hours and the refining plant is available for 2 hours, how many tons of each type of fuel should be manufactured so that the plants are fully utilized? You see this question and its answer. This is clear, I think, to you. See again, we have an industry, 2 types of products to be produced. One is low sulfur fuel, labeled by N is F, and the other one is high sulfur fuel, labeled by H is F. Now see, if each ton of low sulfur fuel requires some time in the blending plant, requires some time in the refining. BP means blending plant, RP means refining plant. So these values should be written in the row form whose complete information are given in the problem. Like for blending plant and refining plant, total time daily given to you. Like this one. Now, let X and Y be the desired number of tons of low sulfur fuel and high sulfur fuel to be manufactured respectively. By using algebra, we label the desired amount by X and Y. You see, we write blending and refining plot in row form, and the desired quantities should be written in column form, low sulfur fuel, high sulfur fuel. If 1 ton of low sulfur fuel requires 5 minutes in the blending plant, then how much time is required for X tons? So will be 5X. This 5X is the total number of minutes required for low sulfur fuel, X tons in blending plant. If 1 ton of the low sulfur fuel requires 4 minutes in the refining plant, then how much is required for X tons? So 4x minutes required for low sulfur fuel in refining plant. Similarly, if 1 ton of high sulfur fuel required 4 minutes in the blending plant, these information are given in the question. Then how much is required for Y ton? So for Y ton, 4y minutes is required for high sulfur fuel in blending plant. If 1 ton of the high sulfur fuel required 2 minutes in the refining plant, then Y tons required 2y minutes in the refining plant. But blending plant is given to you available for 3 hours, and these are in minutes. So 3 hours means 3 into 60, 180 minutes. Similarly, refining plant is available for 2 hours daily, and we are discussing here the minutes. So 2 into 60, 120 minutes. If you enclose them into bracket, this will give you a matrix form, but here we use the elimination method. Just we touch the concept of the matrix, how you will tabulate the informations from the given problem. So this is the tabular form of the informations. You see, NA, 5x, 4y, 4x, 2y, all these are the number of minutes. In these entry, for example, what does 5x means? X actually the number of tons of low sulfur fuel to be produced daily. But 5x here means the total number of times in minutes required for low sulfur fuel of X tons in the blending plant. Similarly, 4y means Y is the total number of tons of high sulfur fuel to be produced daily, but 4y is the total time required for Y tons of high sulfur fuel in minutes in the blending plant. Similarly, 4x is the total number of minutes required for X tons of low sulfur fuel in the refining plant. 2y is the total number of minutes for Y ton of high sulfur fuel required in the refining plant. Now see, the sum of these 2 minutes is equal to 180. How you easily make the linear system? How can you construct the linear system easily? By using the concept of matrix, that is to tabulate all the information. Now, as we are discussing here the elimination method to solve a linear system, so see, 5x plus 4y is the total number of minutes plus this one for the blending plant, but this blending plant is available 180 minutes, so the sum of these two is equal to 180. Similarly, the sum of these 2 minutes is equal to 120 minutes. This is the case where m is equal to n, that is number of equation 2, number of unknown is 2. Now for that big problem in the industry, we construct the linear system. This is the beauty of mathematics. Equation 1 minus 2 times equation 2 to eliminate y easily. Multiply equation 2. This is equation 2. Multiply by 2, you get 5x. And this is 2, 4, 8 minus 8x is equal to minus 3x. This is 4 minus 4, 0. And this is 180 minus 2 into 120 is 240. So 180 minus 240 become minus 60. Dividing by minus 3, x is equal to 20 tons. 1 then implies equation 1, 5 into 20 plus 4 into y is 180. Y is equal to 20 tons also. Thus, 20 tons of each fuel are manufactured, that is x is 20, y is 20, is the unique solution. This is how to construct a linear system from the industry problem and then solve that linear system here just by using the concept of matrix, but here the technique is the elimination method. Question 24 is similar to question 23. This is not 20. This is, sorry, question 23. Make it correct, please. Question 24 is similar to question 23. Like you see here in question 23. 24. A plastics manufacturer makes two types of plastic, regular and special. Each ton of regular plastic requires 2 hours in plant A and 5 hours in plant B. Each ton of special plastic requires 2 hours in plant A, 3 hours in plant B. If plant A is available 8 hours per day and plant B is available 15 hours per day, how many tons of each type of plastic can be made daily so that the plants are fully utilized? That is, in this problem, instead of fuel, we use two types of plastic, regular and special. And there, instead of blending and refining, we use here plant A and plant B. In problem 23, we convert 3 and 2 hours into minutes, but here no need to convert the time of plants to be utilized in minutes, because here everything is given in hours. So that is easy, much easy than question 23. Now question 25. You see, a dietitian is preparing a meal consisting of foods A, B, and C. Here in the industry, 3 types of foods are going to be prepared. Each ounce of food A contains 2 units of protein, 3 units of fat, and 4 units of carbohydrate. Yani each food contains 3 different vitamins, protein, fat, and carbohydrate. Now, each ounce of food B contains 3 units of protein, 2 units of fat, and 1 unit of carbohydrate here. Each ounce of food C contains 3 units of protein, 3 units of fat, and 2 units of carbohydrate. If the meal must provide exactly 25 units of protein, 24 units of fat, and 21 units of carbohydrate, how many ounces of each type of food should be used? See the problem. In this problem, 3 different types of foods in a meal are prepared. Be labeled by A, B, C. Now, in each type of food, 3 vitamins, protein, fat, carbohydrate are used. But the total number of units of protein, fat, and carbohydrate in all the foods are given to you. You need that how many ounces of each food is used to have total 24 units of protein, 25 units of protein, 24 units of fat, and 21 units of carbohydrate. You see. And the protein, fat, carbohydrate are given in units, but the foods you need to find are in ounces. So ounces is a unit of weight. Now see this question, how you will tabulate all the informations, and then how you will construct the linear system from these information tabulated. So again, by the concept of matrix, we solve this question 25. Here in the question, the total number of ounces of food A, B, C, D to be used are desired. So we label these number of ounces by X, Y, Z. That is, let X, Y, and Z be the desired number of ounces of foods A, B, and C to be used in protein, fat, and carbohydrate. Is the total values for protein, fat, carbohydrate given. Why we write them into row form. And the number of ounces of A, B, C are desired, so we write or mention these quantities as in column form because we are going to find their respective number of units, number of ounces protein. You see, in food A from the question, Food A contains 2 units of protein. So X yani 1 ounce of food A contains 2 units of protein. So X ounces will contain 2x unit of protein. Similarly, 1 ounce of food A contains 3 units of fat. So X ounces of food A contains 3x units of fat. Since 1 ounce of food A contains 4 units of carbohydrate, so X ounces of food A contains 4x units of carbohydrate. Actually, 2 is the number of units of protein, but in 1 ounce of food A, 2x is the number of units of protein in X ounces of food A. Similarly, 1 ounce of food B contains 3 units protein, 2 units fat, and 1 unit carbohydrate. So, Y units of food B contains 3Y protein, 2Y unit fat, and Y unit carbohydrate. Similarly, in the problem, it is given that 1 ounce of food C contains 3 units of protein. So, Z ounces of food C contain 3Z unit of protein, 3Z unit of fat, and 2Z unit of carbohydrate. But total number of units of protein given to you 25, fat given 24, carbohydrate given to 21. As these are the number of units of protein in A, B, C food respectively, so their sum will be equal to 25. Similarly, these are the number of units of fat in food A, food B, food C. So their sum will be equal to 24. And this is the total number of units of carbohydrate in food A, carbohydrate in food B, carbohydrate in food C. Their sum will be equal to 21 because the total number of units of carbohydrate given to you is 21 in the problem. Now, we tabulated the informations, and if you enclose them in bracket, this will give you a beautiful matrix, which will be considered to be the augmented matrix of a system. Now, the sum of these is 25, the sum of these is 24, the sum of these is 21. Actually, this is the relation between the protein and food A, B, and C. The relation with this is total number of units of fat, this is total number of units of fat, this is total number of units of carbohydrate, this is total number of units of carbohydrate. But here in food A, B, and C to be combined equal to 21 given to you. No, solve this system. Solve by using example 3, page 3. The number of equation equal to number of unknown. N is 3, N is 3. This is 3, sorry, correct it. Instead of N, put here 3. So, such like equation system we solved in example 3. Solve by using example 3. Just eliminate x from these two, from these two. You will get one this equation and 2 equation in y z. Then eliminate y, you will get the value of z. By example 3 on page 3, by base substitution, put z value here in y, and yz value in 1 gives you the value of x. But here, please remember, this system is constructed from some industry, and you know that the unknown variable xyz indicate the number of ounces. So if you get here negative value of xyz, ignore that negative sign, as each one of these variables indicates the number of something. So positive value should be considered here. In open system, if the problem behind the system is not mentioned, then any real number can be considered as the value of xyz. But if in the problem the variables indicate some weight, some number, then negative concept which should be ignored there. Question 26 is similar to question 25. The same weight, number, but of different, instead of protein, fat, carbohydrate, some other thing is used. So very similar to question 25. You can do question 26 by constructing like the tabular form, then the system, and then solve that system. Question 27. In question 27, you see, suppose that 3 points 1 minus 5 minus 1 1 and 2 7 lie on the parabola p of x is equal to x squared bx plus c. First question. Determine a linear system of 3 equations in 3 unknowns that must be solved to find A, B, and C. B part. Solve the linear system obtained in part A for A, B, and C. Again, the way how to construct a linear system and the technique how to solve that linear system. But here, for construction of a linear system, this problem is given. A parabola is given in relation x squared plus bx plus c. 3 points on this parabola are given. You need to construct the linear system expressed in A, B, C and solve that linear system like here in the solution. This is mentioned question 27. See, this is the given parabola in the problem. Be labeled by equation 1. Points on parabola are 1 minus 5 minus 1 1 and 2 7. Now, a point on a graph of a function means the first coordinate in the point is the value of the independent variable x. That is, this is the input, the domain value. And at x is equal to 1, the function value is minus 5. Similarly, at x is equal to minus 1, the function value is 1. At x is equal to 2, the function value is 7. Like you see, for point 1 minus 5, equation 1 implies this is the value of x, p of 1 equal to minus 5. Yani at x is equal to 1, p value will be minus 5. But p of 1 means put x is equal to 1 here. So 1 a into 1 square a plus b into 1 is b plus c. So a plus b plus c, this equal is this equal, and this is minus 5. Similarly, for point minus 1 1, this one again implies at x is equal to minus 1, p is equal to 1. So p of minus 1 is 1. And p of minus 1 from left hand side is put x is equal to minus 1 here. This is a minus b plus c equal to 1, the second equation. Similarly, for point 2 7, 1 implies p of 2 is equal to 7. And put x is equal to 2 here. This is 2 to 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 7. Is the desired system to be constructed from this interpolation of parabola. You see, passing through these 3 points. Instead of a, b, c, we use here a, instead of x, y, z, we use here a, b, c are unknowns. Now solve this linear system. This is part A. In part B, solve the above system for A, B, and C. By example 3, page 3, to get the values of A, B, C, by plugging back these values in 1 here, the value of A obtained from this, the value of B obtained from this, value of C, we get the desired parabola. So देखिए, just A eliminate करें, then eliminate from 1 and 3, and you will get here the first equation. Third and fourth will be in terms of B and C. Eliminate B, you will get the value of C by back substitution, like in example 3. Already we did this example. You will get the values of A, B, C. So that is how to construct the system, and the solution easy for you as we discussed above the examples how to solve the system by elimination method. Question 28, similar to example 1 on page 2, in an investment or the inheritance is to be divided among 3 trusts. You see here, question 28. An inheritance of $24,000 is to be divided among 3 trusts. So the same question there, 1 lakh was divided into 2 ways. Here, this amount is divided into 3 ways, with the second trust receiving twice as much as the first trust. Yani the amount given to first trust when multiplied by 2, that becomes the amount given to the second trust. The three trusts pay interest at the rates of 9, 10, and 6% annually, respectively, and return a total in interest of $22.10 at the end of the first year. How much was invested in each trust? In example 1 on page 2, by 2 ways, $1 lakh was invested, and here in 3 ways, $24,000 is going to be invested. So you construct the linear system of three equation, convert three equation into 2 by putting y is equal to 2x in 1 and 3, and solve that for x, y. You will get the desired amounts used in 3 different trusts. So this is all about the linear system in exercise 1.1. We discussed many techniques there, many systems there. Sometimes the system gives you a solution, sometimes does not. The solution does not exist. If the solution exists, then whether this is unique or infinitely many cases, so many type of, considering just simple examples and simple problem in the industry, we constructed the linear system, and by the technique of elimination, we solved that linear system. So many issues faced there, but for that, the reason we mentioned the solution, the nature of the solution we discussed there. Now, here the matrix, the second topic is matrix. Definition here in the book is you studied from 9, 10 up to the university level. The definition for matrix is an M by N matrix. A is a rectangular array of M real or complex numbers arranged in M horizontal rows and N vertical columns. This is just the shape, the structure of the matrix, and the rows and columns of the matrix, but nothing else mentioned here. How a matrix is important, why the scientist, the mathematician needed the concept of matrix. In some way, matrix makes the thing easy to understand. Here, one, in this first part, if M is equal to N, then A is a square matrix. This is a rectangular matrix when M is different than N, in a number of rows different than number of columns. When M is equal to N, then A is a square matrix. Second, if all the entries in a square matrix of the main diagonal, not on the main diagonal, above and below the main diagonal, are 0, then A is called diagonal matrix. Third, if all the entries on the main diagonal of a diagonal matrix are the same, that is, each are a real number equal the same, then A is called a scalar matrix. Example, A equal to M by N, which is Aij, can be expressed like this one, A11, A12, A1N, similarly AM1, AM2, AMN. We have here, you see, 1, 2 up to M. So M rows and 1, 2 up to N columns. This M by N is called the size of the matrix A. But this size indicates 3 different informations. One information, when this cross symbol is considered to be the ordinary multiplication, then the product of M and N is M and N are both natural number. This product gives the total number of entries in the matrix. The second meaning of the size of the matrix is M stands for number of rows in the matrix A, and N stands for the number of columns in the matrix A. The third meaning of this size like this is M. What is M? M, the dimension of the range space, and N, the dimension of the domain space. If A is considered to be a transformation, that is A equal a transformation labeled by T is from Rn to Rm. You see, compare the size of the matrix is M by N, and when A is considered to be the transformation means a function, a map, and for the function map transformation, just a relation between two things. You need two spaces. One is Rn, the other one is Rm. But this N actually is the number of columns of this matrix, but here this is the dimension of the domain when A is considered to be the transformation. While this M is the number of rows in the matrix A, but here it is the dimension of the codomain range when A is considered to be a transformation. So the size of the matrix indicates three different but very important information. The third one is very important because every matrix plays the role of a transformation, a function, a map. For example, if you consider here A equal to R0, 0, 0, R0, 0, 0, R, this implies the scalar matrix because the diagonal matrix having all entries on the main diagonal are the same is said to be the scalar matrix. Is mathematics is the language of all senses. So you see for different type of transformation in physics, in other subject of science, in your discipline, in any other discipline of engineering, mathematics model the statements like this scalar matrix is representing some important transformations. For example, in first part, A is dilation transformation. If this R is greater than 1, then the scalar matrix represents a dilation transformation. Second, A represents contraction transformation. If this R lies between 0 and 1, yani positive but less than 1, then that scalar matrix represents the contraction transformation. Like you see, in physics, you know time dilation and length contraction. So the time dilation and length contraction transformations are represented in mathematics by some scalar matrices having these scalar quantities on the main diagonal the same and greater than 1 for dilation and lies between 0, 1 and greater than 0 and less than 1 for contraction. And you see here this you see example for that Ax is equal to A is a scalar matrix having scalar quantity on main diagonal is 2. X is a vector in 3-dimensional x, y, z. If you apply this A in the form of transformation on a vector, then you see 2x plus 0 become 2x. 0 plus 2y plus 0, z is 2y. Similarly, 0, 0 plus 2z. 2 is common, x, y, z, 2, and that x, y, z is again labeled by capital X. So you see Ax is equal to 2x. If you apply the scalar matrix and a vector lie in the same spaces, then you will get some multiple of the vector. If that multiple quantity is greater than 1, then A represents the dilation. It expands the vector like you see. This is the vector x. But if you apply A on x, this becomes 2x. So you see this is 2x. Yani the magnitude of the vector is increased. That is dilated this vector, expanded this vector by the action of matrix A. But here, if you consider AX, and A here is 1 over 2, 0, 0, 0, 1 over 2, 0, 0, 0, 1 over 2 into XYZ, the value of X. Multiply this matrix to this vector, this becomes 1 over 2X, 1 over 2Y, 1 over 2Z. 1 over 2 is common, X, Y, Z. So 1 over 2, again X, Y, Z labeled by capital X. You see, you applied A and X, and the result is half of that X. That is, this vector is contracted. This is the vector X, but if you apply A and X, the result is 1 over 2X. So here contraction is occurred. It means that every matrix plays the role of a transformation. But some of them are special, and these special are square, then diagonal, then scalar. And that scalar matrix represents dilation transformation and contraction transformation under some constraint. That is, when the scalar quantity and the diagonal matrix the same and greater than 1, then that scalar matrix represents the dilation transformation. And when that scalar quantity and the main diagonal the same, less than 1, greater than 0, then that scalar matrix represents the contraction transformation. So this is the beauty of mathematics, how mathematics model the statement of physics in any other subject in the form of the matrix. This is the importance of matrix, the application of matrix. That is, matrix is not just a table. Each and every entry of the matrix indicates some information, and this matrix plays the role of transformation, wave function. When applied on something, some change occurred there. So, in other words, we can say in the universe, every action is a map, a function, a transformation. Because when action is taken place, some change occurs. And for action, you need something to get some new thing. Here, operations on matrices like addition, subtraction, scalar multiplication, transpose, matrix multiplication, that is product of matrices. So for addition and subtraction, you know, two matrices are added or subtracted. If they have the same size, just the condition for addition and subtraction, the matrices should have the same sizes. If a scalar number, say R, is multiplied to a matrix A, that is RA, is called scalar multiplication. Example, 2A is labeled by 1, 2, 3, 4. So multiply this 2 to each entry of the matrix, become 2, 4, 6. This is scalar multiple of matrix A. So by scalar multiplication, we mean multiply a scalar quantity, a real number, to a matrix, that is to each and every entry of the matrix. This like operation is said to be the scalar multiplication. Transpose, you know, be a function, a transformation. When applied on a matrix, then all rows will be changed into columns. So again, here an action has taken place, and the action is in the form of transpose. So transpose is also an operation. Operation is a function, a map, a transformation, an action. Third one is linear combination, is also an operation on matrices. What is linear combination? So linear means, you know, when having the linearity nature, that is used in uni-exponentially form in the action, then said to be the linear. That is the relation whose graph is a straight line is said to be the linear relation. Combination to combine something, but by different operation. Here the operation of combination is by scalar multiplication and addition. Like you see, if A1, A2, dash, dash, up to AK are all M by N matrices, and C1, C2, CK are all real numbers, then an expression of the form C1, A1, C2, A2, up to CK, AK, This expression is called a linear combination of matrices A1, A2 up to AK, and C1, C2 up to CK are called coefficients. Now, what is the linear combination? What is the relation of linear combination to the linear system? Because each and every linear combination of matrices gives you again a linear system. So linear system and linear combination has a close relation. Yani one of them is converted to another. Just here some example we consider 2A1 minus 3A2 plus 1O2 A3. You see C1 is 2, C2 is minus 3, C3 is 1O2, and K here is 3. K here is 3. So 2. What is A1? A1, for example, is this one. Plus minus 3. This is A2 plus 1O2. This is A3. Multiply this. This is scalar multiple. 2 minus 2, 0, 6, 4, 2. Minus 6 minus 1 plus 3, 0 minus 3 minus 9. Similarly, this is 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. No, 8. The sum, the addition is the sum of the respective components. 2 minus 6 minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. Minus 2 minus 3 minus 5 plus 2 minus 3. 0, 3 plus 3, 6. Similarly, the sum of 6, 0, 2 is 8. 4 minus 3, 4 is 5. And 2 minus 9, 5 is minus 2, which is equal to A matrix. This is the sum of these three matrices, but by linear combination. Linear means each matrix is uni-exponential, yani power is 1 of each matrix. Now this single matrix is obtained by some linear combination of these three matrices, and this is a linear combination of A1, A2, and 3. Now, here we have three different matrices, you see, but can you say about how many linear combinations for these three matrices are possible? Because C1, C2, C3, CK, all are real number. If you change any one of them or change two or change all the constant here, you will get another matrix. It means that how many changes here can be occurred? Infinitely many. It means that for a limited number of matrices, you can find infinitely many combinations, because here just change the constant, you will get here a change matrix. So as the real numbers are these constant belongs to the set of real number, and the set of real number is infinite set. So you may choose infinitely many constant to multiply here and add to get some matrices. It means that from limited number of matrices, you can find infinite linear combinations. Bit. What is bit? A bit is a binary digit that is either a 0 or 1. Yani 0, 1 are bits. This is a system of binary. Yani this is called binary system, in which there exists two digits. Now, bit matrix, an m by n bit matrix is a matrix all of whose entries are bits, single bits. That is, each entry is either a 0 or 1. Yani those matrices in which all the entries are just 0 or 1 are said to be the bit matrices. For these two digits, two operations are used. One is called the ordinary addition, and the second is ordinary multiplication. 0, 1 is there are two digits in this system. 0, 1 right here. This is plus operation. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. It means that 0 is the identity in this system. And the inverse of 1 is 1. That is, 1 plus 1 is 0. So the inverse of 1 here is 1. There is no concept of negative sign in this binary system. Similarly, multiplication, 0 multiplies 0 is 0, 0 into 1 is 0, 1 into 0 is 0, 1 into 1 is 1. And these operations like 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 0. Similarly, here the operations. Now, A is 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, a bit matrix because each entry here is a bit 0 or 1. B is unknown, a matrix. C is 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Find B if A plus B is equal to C. These are bit matrices. Solution. A plus B is C implies B is equal to C minus A transfer, which can be written C plus minus 1A. But you know, in decimal system, minus 1 is the additive inverse of 1 because the additive inverse of a digit is that number when added to it, the result is the identity 0. So, but in binary system, the additive inverse is 1, yani minus 1 is just a label. So the additive inverse is plus 1, y minus 1 is replaced by plus 1. So this means C plus A. That is no concept of negative sign here. And if you transfer in bit matrices one matrix from left to right, the sign will not be changed. Why? Because this is though minus 1, but minus 1 is the additive inverse in decimal system. And minus 1 is replaced by the additive inverse of 1 in binary is 1. Because here you see 1 plus 1 is 0. So it means that when you transfer this 1 to right, 1 will be equal to minus 1 here in this system. So C plus A, now you see B is equal to this is C, this is A. And add 1 plus 1, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 0, 1 plus 0, 1 plus 1, 0 plus 1, this one. 1 plus 1 is 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. So this is how the concept of bit matrices you will use. Now in exercise 1.2, you see question 8 and 9 and question 11 to 15 just you see in this exercise. Question 8 is the matrix 3002 a linear combination of the matrices 1001 and 100? Justify your answer. You see, we suppose that A equal to this matrix is a linear combination of A1, this, and A2, this matrix. When we suppose that A is the linear combination of A1 and A2, then use the definition. Then C1A1 plus C2A2 is equal to A for some real number C1, C2. How this linear combination is converted into linear system? If there exists C1, C2, then our supposition is true. Now C multiply C1 to A1, C2 to A2, and this is A matrix. There, multiply and sum will be this one. Compare these two matrices because their equality sign exists here. C1 plus C2 is 3. 0 is equal to 0. 0 is equal to 0. C1 is equal to C2. This is a linear system obtained from the linear combination. And this linear system is consistent because there exists no invalid case. Sometimes here maybe 0 is equal to 1. When a system obtained from the linear system having an invalid case says 0 is equal to 1, then straightforward right here this system is inconsistent due to this invalid case 0 is equal to 1, and this inconsistency is due to our wrong supposition. Then what will be true? A is not the linear combination, but here the system is consistent. 0 is equal to 0 satisfied form. Just put C1 here to get the value of C2 as 1. As C1 and C2 exist having well-defined values, hence A is the linear combination of A1 and A2. Question 9, similar to question 8. Do also question 11 to question 15 on bit matrices like this one. Two matrices will be given. The sum of them will be given. You need to find the third one like this one or to get the value of C. This is exercise 1.2. The rest of the question are very easy. You see, this is 9-10 level question. only question 8 and 9 solve, and then from question 11 to 15 on the bit matrices you need to find. Okay? Now, matrix product. What does matrix product mean? Or product of two matrices. This is very important operation in matrices. And you can do, you can solve, you can use this concept in industry. Like you see, if A having size m by n, B having size n by b, is the number of columns equal to number of columns in A equal to number of rows in B. So multiplication is possible. Why this constraint is imposed for the matrix multiplication? And the product size AB will be the multiplication of the extreme, yani m by b. Then the product of A and B is defined as AB having size m by b, the extreme one. Now here you see, in this product, there are p columns. P is a natural number. So we can write this AB matrix as column 1 of AB, column 2 of AB, up to column P of AB, where column JAB is equal to A column JB for J1, 2, 3 up to P, represent the linear combinations of the columns of matrix A. Yani the product, in the product of two matrices, each column is the linear combination of the columns of the first matrix in the product. This is the linear combination of all the columns of matrix A. This is the linear combination of all the columns of A. This is the linear combination of all the columns of A. But here, the constants chosen are different from all these. And we discussed that for a limited number of vectors or matrices, you can build infinitely many linear combinations. Now, this concept will be cleared by choosing a simple example. You see, this is example 4 on page 23. Let A is equal to 1, 2, minus 1, 3, 1, 4. B is minus 2, 4, 2, 5, minus 3, 1. Now, the product of these two matrices is possible. Why? Because number of columns in this matrix equal to number of rows in this matrix. One way is to multiply row into column and find the matrix. The second way is this one. AB size will be the size of extreme number. This is 2 and this is 2. So the product size will be 2 by 2. And there are two columns in this product, so we may write column 1 of AB, column 2 of AB, equation 1. What is column 1 of AB? This is by this model. When J is equal to 1 here, then column 1 AB is A, column 1 B. This means they choose first column of matrix B, like minus 2, 4, 2. This is first column of matrix B. You see here? And take minus 2 here in first column of matrix A, plus 4 in second column of matrix A, plus 2 third column of matrix A. Now see, is this not the linear combination of the columns of matrix A? Because 1, 3, 2, 1, minus 1, 4 are the columns of matrix A in the product. But the constant chosen like C1, A1, C2, A2, C3, A3 in the linear combination definition, because these columns are just like column vectors, and vector is a special case of matrix. So if you consider this is C1, A1, C2, A2, C3, A3, is the linear combination of A1, A2, A3. But A1, A2, A3 are columns of matrix A. So it means that the first column of the product like this one is the linear combination of the column of matrix A. Now multiply this constant and 8, you will get here 4, 6. So the first column of the product AB is 4, 6. Similarly, column 2AB is equal to A, column 2 of B. Now choose column 2 of B, which is this one. 5 minus 3, 1. Now 5, the first entry, 5 into first column, minus 3 into second column, 1 into third column is written like here. Multiply and add, you will get minus 2, 16. It will be the second column of matrix A, of the product AB. 1 then implies AB is equal to, this is 1. AB equal to column 1AB is 4, 6, column 2AB is minus 2, 16. Showing that each column of AB is a linear combination of the columns of matrix A here. It means that the product of two matrices, in the product of two matrices, each column is the linear combination of the columns of the first matrix in A. And why this condition is necessary, the number of columns in the first should be equal to number of rows in the second. Because for the linear combination, we need the number of constant is equal to the number of matrices or vectors. For example, there are 3 columns in this matrix. But if there are 2 rows in this matrix, just ignore 2, 1. You see 2, 1. Then minus 2 into first column plus 4 into second column. If this 2 does not exist, then what happened with this column? This column needs a third constant here. So linear combination does not exist if here the number of columns in the first not equal to number of rows in the second. If this third row is ignored, then for these 2 columns, 2 numbers exist, but for third column, there is no number. So multiplication is not possible here. As in the product, all the columns are the linear combinations of the columns of the first matrix. So this is why needed that number of columns in the first one, number of rows in the second, then multiplication is possible. The importance of this method is first, मतलब ये है कि इसमें गलती के चांसेस बहुत कम है. And the second thing is, if you consider here, for example, A is of size 60 by 50, B is of size 50 by 70. This is equal, so multiplication is possible, and the product side will be 60 into 70. For example, in an industry, this product indicates some information each and every entry. And your desired information in the industry lies, for example, in the 69th column. Then this is very impossible for a small time, for a little time, to find A, B, and these choose 69th column. But if you know the concept of this operation, matrix multiplication, you can easily choose the 69th column in the matrix B and take constant from them, multiply to each column of A, you get directly the desired information from this way. If you need some information lies in the, for example, in the 50th column, then you can easily, the entry lies in the 50th row and in the 69th column. Just multiply the 50th row to the 69th column, the entry obtained will be your desired information. So many applications of this product exist, but the special one is to clear the concept of this operation. What does the product of matrices mean? How you will embed this concept in the industry, and what is the importance of the size? Like you see in this exercise 1.3, question 12 to question 16, by expressing the columns of AB as the linear combinations of the columns of A. In these questions, use the concept of this. The product to be found by using the concept of linear combinations of the columns of matrix A. To question 12 to question 16, do by this method. Similarly, the application, this is exercise 1.3, second page I consider, and in this exercise, just consider from question 11 to question 15 are here I mentioned what this is. Question 12 to question 16. Do these questions only in this exercise. And here from question 31 to question 35, also I think I mentioned here other questions. Okay, this will be given in the next page. You see, this is question 31, manufacturing cost. You see, a furniture manufacturer makes chairs and tables, each of which must go through an assembly process and a finishing process. The times required for these processes are given in hours by the matrix. Matrix A indicates assembly process in column, finishing process in column, chair, table. It means that one chair needs 2 hours in assembly process, 2 hours in finishing process. Similarly, one table required 3 hours for assembly and 4 hours for finishing. यानी एक चेयर को बनाने के लिए assembly process में 2 hours required है. इसी तरह finishing में 2 hours required, similarly for the table. So the entries in matrix A indicate some information. This is the number of hours required to make one chair in assembly process. Required 2 hours to make one chair in finishing process. Because one chair passes through different process, different plants. One is assembly and the other one is finishing. No. The manufacturer has a plant in Salt Lake City and another in Chicago City. The hourly rates for each of the processes are given in dollars by the matrix. Matrix B indicates the total cost per hour in assembly and finishing processes in 2 different cities. Like this is Salt Lake City, this is Chicago City. Assembly process, finishing process. Yani 1 hour cost in assembly process in Salt Lake City is $9. But 1 hour cost in assembly process in Chicago City is 10. Similarly, finishing process needs $10 per hour in Salt Lake City and $12 per hour in Chicago City. What do the entries in the matrix product A B tell the manufacturer? You see, these 2 matrices indicate some information in the industry of manufacturing. Okay? But their product indicate what? You see, what do the entries in the matrix product AB tell the manufacturer? You can build another question. Which city is more expensive? So for this type of question, you see first the solution like this is matrix A, 2 by 2, assembly process, finishing process, chair, table. These entries indicate the number of hours required for each product in each process. You see 2 hours of required, chair requires 2 hours in assembly. Table requires 3 hours in assembly. Chair requires 2 hours in finishing. Table requires 4 hours in finishing. Here, B matrix, again 2 by 2, Salt Lake City, Chicago City. This is assembly process, finishing process. Yani $9 1 hour in assembly process is the cost in Salt Lake City. Yani assembly process में 1 hour के लिए जो cost है, जो कीमत है, जिसके oils वगैरह सब कुछ, वो $10 है शिकागो सिटी पे. या फिनिशिंग प्रोसेस में 1 घंटा जब फिनिशिंग प्रोसेस आप ऑन करें तो शिकागो सिटी में $12 इसकी कीमत है, कॉस्ट आता है। इसी तरह सॉल्ट लेक सिटी में $10 पर आवर इन फिनिशिंग प्रोसेस कॉस्ट है सॉल्ट लेक सिटी में। अब आप बताइए, इफ यू मल्टीप्लाई these two matrices, first see whether this multiplication is possible. Yes. Why? Because A is 2 by 2, B is 2 by 2. So number of columns equal to number of rows. Multiplication is possible. And AB product size will be 2 into 2. But first you should mention, what does here this 2 indicates? This 2 indicates the number of rows. But the number of rows here in matrix A indicate what? These two indicate, you see, rows in A. But these rows, first row indicate chair, the second row indicate table. You see, one row, second row. One row indicate chair, the second row indicate table. Now, what does this two indicate in matrix B? Because we consider this two and this two for the size of the product AB. These two indicate columns in B, and these columns in B indicate Salt Lake City and Chicago City. You see, Salt Lake City, one column, Chicago City, second column. So it means that when you consider the product AB is equal to 2 by 2, then see here, this 2 indicates the number of rows indicates the number of columns in matrix B, indicating what? Cities, Salt Lake and Chicago. So in the product, first you write here A, B of 2 by 2. These two actually rows, and rows are given in chair and table. These two indicate number of columns in B, but columns are written here SC and CC. SC means Salt Lake City, and this is Chicago City, as here I mentioned here. So it is clear in the product that what is mentioned in the column and what is mentioned in the row. And when you know the concept of the size, you get easily the information in the product. Like you see, first we use that method. AB is 2 by 2. There are two columns, column 1 AB, column 2 AB, equation 1. What is column 1 AB from the above example? A into column 1B, the definition of this model. So consider first column of B. First column of B is, you know here, this is 9, 10. So 9 multiplied by first column of A plus 10 multiplied by second column of A. And you know, what does 9 represent? 9 actually represent per hour cost in Salt Lake City in assembly process. In dollars, $9 is the cost of 1 hour in the assembly process in this city. And 2, 3 are columns of matrix A indicate what? The number of hours required for chair in assembly process. So 2 hours in assembly process, but 1 hour process, 1 hour cost in assembly process is $9. In the same 2 hour process in assembly process, 2 hour cost in assembly process mean 9 into 2, $18. 9 into 3, 3 number of hours per hour cost 9, so 3 hour cost will be 27. This indicate $18, $27. Here dollar is multiplied to the number of hours. 1 hour cost is 10, so 2 hour cost is 20. 1 hour cost is 10, so 4 hour cost is 40. Add them 38, 67. Similarly, column 2AB is A column 2 of B. Consider second column of B, 10 into 12. 10 into first column of A, 12 into second column of A. But this is actually the number of dollars per hour cost in finishing in assembly process. So in assembly process, this is assembly process. 1 hour cost is 10, so 2 hour cost is 20. 1 hour cost is 10, so 3 hour cost is 30. Similarly, in finishing process, 2 hour cost is 1 hour cost is 12, so 2 hour cost is 24. Similarly, 4 are cost 48, 8 then 44, 78. Column 1 AB, column 2 AB. 1 implies this one. You see, if you don't know the concept of the size, okay, what does this represent, what does this represent? We cannot write here this properly, chair and table. This is actually the number of columns in matrix A, but in columns, you know, written, this is number of rows in matrix A, but in matrix A, rows are written in chair and table. So from this two, we write chair and table. And this is column number in matrix B, but column there written is name of cities. No, the entries in the matrix product AB tell the manufacturer the total cost of chair and table in each city. You see, this is the total cost of one chair in dollar in Salt Lake City. This is the total cost in dollar, yani $44 is the cost of one chair in Chicago City, passing through both the processes. Similarly, $67 cost of one table in Salt Lake City. $78 cost of one table in Chicago City. SC means Salt Lake City, CC means Chicago City. If the question, another question we put, okay, which city is more expensive? You see, chair cost in Salt Lake City is 38, but the same chair cost in Chicago City is 44. Table cost 67 in Salt Lake, but 78 of one table cost in Chicago City. So it means that Chicago City is more expensive than the Salt Lake City. This is another question you can form. And the product information gives you some information. You consider there in a table A entries gives you some other information. B entries gives you some other information. In matrix A, the entries indicate the total number of hours for each product to be passed in each plant's assembly or finishing. Matrix B entries indicate the total number of dollars cost, total number of dollars cost in each city of each product, but their product here indicates some other information, the total cost of each product in each city. Similarly, question 32 to 35, you can do yourself at home because these questions also from the industry, and these questions actually give you the importance of the size of the matrix and the operations in the matrix. So this is the end of this lecture, and you now can see here is, because here you see now question answer session is on. You can ask any question, please.